Hi, so this is a tutorial for the quickLattice maxscript. I made a little list here of things I need to do. First of all, I want to apologize. Sorry for the old one not working. That's obviously a huge mistake on my behalf. And the QA department, which is me, needs to get on their ass. Other than that, I think I fixed up most of it. I just got new laptop, so I'm going to be installing it and doing everything just like you guys are. So I'll go over the installation setup, basic examples, and then we'll move on from there. So first off, ignore that. You want to go to this site, which I figure you're on because that's where I'm going to be posting this. Download this. You're going to go save as and save it to your desktop. It's not going to be this one, it's going to be the updated version. This is the old version. I'm just doing this for the video. Save, pretend like I did save. Cancel. And so there it is on the desktop right there. Right? That's actually that. Okay. And we're going to go into Max. And, oh, no, we're not going to go into Max. We're going to go into Computer, Local Disk, Program Files, Autodesk, 3ds Max, Scripts, and Startup. And you're going to drag that from the desktop to there. Okay. It's not the same one as this one I'm editing, so ignore that. And now we're going to go into Max, conveniently already opened, right? And we're going to say customize user interface. I'll put it in the quads. I like to put it up here with all the edited poly things, and it is under JP scripts, and it's this one here. So I drag that, put that there, like I did, and now you have it working, which means that if you go into sub-object mode, select one of these, it's right there in your quad menu. So what does it do? So if I have a small teapot, say, go back into this, only in faces mode obviously, I'm going to say quickLattice, click, and boom. So what it does is it stretches it to the extent of the lattice or the faces that were selected. So go back into that. It doesn't have to be just one. You can do as many as you want. And quickLattice, boom. See, that's neat, huh? But also, if you select a bunch that are in a rectangular grouping like this, it'll automatically stretch it over those. Obviously it has to only be with the rectangular one, and it just has like a way of testing and check whether it's rectangular or not. So yeah, that's the basics of it. Those are the most useful things. Anything to note, go back to this, and we're going to affect the pivot, put the pivot down. So now, quickLattice, it does that by the height of the pivot. So if you put the pivot well below it, then it'll show up above it. If you put the pivot above, it'll actually show up inside the mesh. And what else was I supposed to do? Stretched, random face, okay. Yeah, so you've seen basic with the random faces stretched, and now we'll talk about the options. So back in the quickLattice mode, let's get a bunch of faces, do even more than that. And we're going to go into the first option, which is if you change the split rather than having it stretch. Now this, like I said, only works when it's a rectangular selection. Close that out and go back to quickLattice. Oops. And ignore that I pressed that. You have to have faces selected or else it'll make that error. I'm going to fix that in a sec, hopefully before I publish this video. Maybe not, who knows. So quickLattice options, yeah, options still set. quickLattice, do that. Give it a second to do all of its computations. while it'll try to fit as many as it can without stretching too much. The basic rule is that each one of these is as small as possible while still being bigger than the original. But this is super useful if you're doing like curtain walls or something like that, or windows and that kind of tiling pattern. You can actually just fit in. And you'll notice it doesn't actually go to the, I forget what those are called. Now the hotkeys are different in Max 14, top level. It has nothing to do with the underlying geometry, is what I'm trying to say. I think we had that like 4 wide and it's now 2 wide. So that's kind of cool. That's a neat thing to play around with, and you can test it out. Beyond that, go back into this. There's a bunch of options. You can see delete faces, attach, redraw. That's if it is going really slow. It'll just update the progress as you go along. And collapse will collapse everything into one. Although I don't know if these check ones, if I've implemented those all the way. I'm still working on this. This is a very much work in progress script. Again, sorry for the delay in bringing it out. It's can't say I have a reason. I don't know. I'm going to school, so I have like classes and stuff that I don't just do this all day. I wish I could, but I can't. Oh, and directions. This one's useful. If you make it left, it'll change it. And the way the directions work, by the way, is that it's based on the original object, and the y-axis becomes the one that points upwards towards the z-axis, and the z-axis is always going to be the one that points outwards away from the tangent. Let's see. But if you change, obviously, the directions, it'll switch up that. So let's try that one more time. Do one or more. quickLattice that. And voila! And now it's still pointing in the same direction. Uh-oh. Maybe I didn't fix that yet. Well, I'm working on it. Anyway, if you want to play around with the script or mess with it yourself, I suggest that you do. I'll try to work on this when I get a chance, hopefully in the next month or so, but I got stuff I want to